Hello everyone and welcome to this week's behind the scenes devlog video, and this week I am finally going to be getting started with adding all of the content into Equilinox, all the different animals and plants and bonus items and tasks. So I'm going to be getting started with that this week. Also, I've got a few leftover tasks from last week which I need to complete, so I'll probably try and do one of them each day this week. But yeah, I'm going to get started and I will show you what I'm up to later in the day. So before I get started with adding content into the game, I wanted to do my one task for today, which was trying to redo the species information GUI, because it's the one GUI that I'm still not really very happy with. And I've had a go at that, and I think it's a slight improvement, but I'm still far from happy with it, so I'll probably have another go at it at some point in the future. So it is now finally time to start adding all of the content into Equilinox, and to start off today I have removed all the content from Equilinox. I've removed all the biomes, all the tasks except for one because it was crashing, all the items, the bonus items and the species. So everything is gone. I've got a completely clean slate to work from, and I'm now going to start adding one by one all of the species, items, biomes and tasks into the game. So I've just added the first species back into Equilinox, which is the grass species, and I'm actually probably going to be working on grass for the whole of this week because there are quite a few systems that I'd like to have another look at and redo, such as the breeding system and the environmental factors stuff. So the grass is probably going to take the longest of all the species to add back in, but once I've redone these systems, obviously I can just use them for the other species as well. So the other species should only take a couple of days to add in each, but this first species is just going to take a little bit longer. The first thing in the code that I'm having a look at again is the breeding component and all the breeding AI, because this is something that I added in a long time ago and I implemented it very quickly and didn't really spend much time on it. So I'm going to go through it again now and put a bit more thought into it and make sure that it's as good as it could be. It is quite late in the afternoon now, and I've spent all afternoon just reshuffling stuff in the code to do with breeding and health, and at the moment I'm trying to work on keeping the grass population at an equilibrium so that it doesn't completely die out or completely overpopulate the world. So I've been working on the calculations of which factors affect the grass's health and how. So it's the end of the day now, and for the rest of the evening I was still just working on those population calculations, trying to keep the population of the grass stable. And one thing that I've especially been working on is that if the suitability of the local environment drops, that the population of the grass should also drop, but then remain stable at a lower population. So it should still be in an equilibrium, but there should just be less grass. And I've almost got that to work now. It is Wednesday morning, and today I'm just going to be continuing to work through this long list of stuff that I need to reshuffle in the code, which is a little bit boring to be honest, because it's all like the loose ends of systems that I've worked on before, so nothing new, but it's all got to get done at some point. First up today, I've been finishing off and testing out the population management stuff that I was working on yesterday, and I can actually now set the average population for a species in the species file. And this is going to be important because obviously I want small plants like grass and flowers to have higher populations than things like big trees. Next up today, I've been working on the growing component, and you can see that the entity pop-ups now show the percentage of how fully grown the entity is and also the age. And in the species information GUI, it now shows you the average growth time for that species, and also the average population is now shown here as well. This afternoon I've just been doing some work on this week's tutorial about the geometry shader, which is a rather large tutorial. It's taken quite a lot of time over the last couple of weeks. As you can see, I wrote a 4-page script for this one, and there are also like 100 diagrams or something that I drew. But it's pretty much done now. I'm just editing it together, and it should definitely be done in time for this weekend. Good morning everyone, it is 6:45 on Thursday morning, and I am in a field. No particular reason why, I just thought it would be nice to have a bit of a change of scenery, because this week has kind of been a little bit boring. I've just been sat in my room reshuffling code all day, every day, and I haven't really done anything, so I thought I'd go on a bit of an adventure this morning and travel to a bit of Berlin, which I haven't been to before, and I found a nice field. I did actually think there'd be a lake here, but apparently not, just a field, but still very nice, and a very nice way to start off the day. So it is now 8:30, I'm back from my little morning trip, just in time for breakfast, and today I'm going to be working on the environmental factors that affect the growth of the grass. The first thing that I've been working on today is making the changes in the health a little bit smoother and less erratic, because obviously the health is based on the local population, and as more grass was added or removed from the world, the health would previously jump up and down very quickly. So I've now added a kind of smoothing factor, and the health changes a little bit more smoothly now. It is 12:30, just stopping for some lunch now, and for the whole morning I've just been working on reshuffling code in the environmental satisfaction system, which is to do with how happy entities are with their environment. But in the end, I just decided that this code is such a mess that it would just be easier to redo it. So I've actually been planning out a new system for the environmental satisfaction, and I will finish that off this afternoon. It is now 6:30 in the evening, and I've spent all afternoon today just redoing the environmental satisfaction code, which I have now finished, and I've actually gone for a component-based architecture this time, which makes the system a whole load more flexible, and it means that I can actually choose which environmental factors affect which entities. So for example, for the grass, I've only added an altitude factor, which means that the only environmental factor that affects the grass is the altitude at which it's growing, and you can see that in the game here. Also, I can now demonstrate the equilibrium stuff that I was talking about yesterday. So you can see that I've got two patches of grass here. One is growing at a suitable altitude, and the other is growing at an unsuitable altitude. And you can see that the population is a lot higher in the patch of grass that's growing at the suitable altitude. And the other patch of grass, it still has a stable population, but the population is a lot lower because the environmental satisfaction is also lower. It is 7:30 on Friday morning, and today it's just going to be more of the same, and I'm just going to keep working on the grass. So far this morning I've just been implementing all of the other environmental factors that can affect an entity, and I'm testing them all out here on the grass at the moment. So you can see them here in the species information GUI. It shows you the preferred environment for the grass. Obviously I've only got one biome and one species in the world at the moment, so this doesn't really make sense yet. But this is just to test out all of the different environmental factors that can affect a species. Just stopping for some lunch now, and I have actually started work on colour traits now, which is going to allow grass to have different colours and allow you to selectively breed different colours of grass. So I have now added a colour trait to the grass, and you can see that it now shows up in the traits panel of the grass's entity pop-up GUI. Just been doing a bit of work in the species information GUI, and as you can see, it can now display the natural colour range of a species. Just finishing off for the day now, and I've been doing a bit of work on the modifier GUI for the grass. So if you click on this button here, this is going to bring up the colour picker GUI, and that's going to allow you to select the target colour for the grass. So it is now Saturday, and today I've just been finishing off a few things, so you can see that the colour selecting stuff is now pretty much working, and this is basically going to allow you to selectively breed different colours of grass for a certain DP cost. I haven't actually got the DP cost calculating yet, but that's something that I'll show you in next week's video. Apart from that, I've just been working on this week's behind the scenes devlog video, which is pretty much done now. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for this week. So the first species is now in the game in Equilinox, and obviously the other species aren't all going to take this long to add into the game. It's just the first few are going to take a little bit longer because I've got all the systems to set up and stuff. But after that it's going to get a lot quicker, and I'm expecting that each species will eventually just take 1 or 2 days to add into the game. So in a few weeks we will have a lot more species getting added. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.